What if I told you the reason your real estate listing videos aren't getting views isn't the market? It's because they all look and sound the same. In this video, I'll show you how to use ChatGPT and Suno AI to turn your listings into scroll-stopping music videos that buyers actually remember. What's going on, guys? My name is Nick Krem, co-founder of the Krem Institute of Artificial Intelligence, and welcome to AI for Real Estate Agents. If you like this video, hit that like and subscribe button because you're going to see a heck of a lot more just like it. We'll see you inside.
AI for real estate agents.
We're going to start off. We need to actually have a property. Now, I'm going to be using information from Zillow, okay, of a property because obviously I don't have a listing. So you could do it either way. You don't have to have your listing already on Zillow. You can use your images you already have, and then maybe your listing description and all of your facts and feature data that you would have inputted into your MLS or you would have somewhere else. You can use all that information and upload it. I'm just going to be doing it in a different way to be able to showcase today. So yeah, okay. So we got Zillow. I'm just showing Zillow example. So we would take this. This is my example that I'm using. You'd go through the images that you'd want. You right click on your mouse and you'd save them to your desktop. We're going to use roughly 7 images for this example. So you'd make sure, just so in case you guys are going to try it by using images on Zillow, make sure you open the image up because that will give you the best resolution. So if you try to right click on them when they're in their smaller portion like that, you're not going to get the best resolution. So do make sure that you open the image up to the largest point and then right click and save it to your desktop. And once you've done that, therefore we have it on our desktop, we're going to do one more thing. So here it is here. It says view template, just press view. And then we go into edit here. Once it's showcase on screen, open an editor. Internet's always moving slowly when you want it to move fast. So here we've got our collage put together. They've already got the slides numbered. You can move them around. If you don't want 2 call to actions, you could just, put in slide 6 if you wanted to. Just so you know, you could just put in slide 6 or whatever you want. And then we go up to uploads on the left-hand side of Canva. And first of all, what you're going to do is you're going to go uploads, and then you're going to go and select all the different images that you just downloaded from Zillow in here. So then we have them. And then obviously you're going to need to know which is going to be the format. So I already know which ones are where. So I just pull them in their positions. Once you've got them all correctly uploaded in their positions, you would go to the right-hand side, and then we would go into and download. Keep it as PNG and then just download, and then it's going to save onto your desktop. And so now we have completed the collage. We know what the images are going to be. We now can move on to creating our script. I'm going to put a prompt into the chat. This prompt here, you're going to have to slightly modify because there is some things in there and I will go through that in a second. I'm going to show you what it looks like here before I paste it. So this is the prompt, as you can see on my screen here. There's certain areas, like here, you can determine the length yourself of what you want it to be. I tried, it doesn't work at a minute. So I would change that up to approx 2 minutes. And it's going to ask questions about genre and stuff like that. So don't worry about that. These are just giving examples. Same with mood and tone. The things that I need you to change that are individual to mine are, like I said, the length you want to change, and also this spoken last word. So this last sentence, you can keep some of it and obviously just change your contact details, because what it's going to try to do is going to try to, when singing the song, at the end of the final slide with the call to action, it's going to be transitioning from the song into spoken with background music, and then basically ask you to reach out to yourself for further information on the property that it's showcasing. Okay, and so that there would be a good prompt. And once you got all that, you take this prompt, you go into ChatGPT, you paste it, and it's going to start to ask you questions. So it's going to ask you information on the property. Like I said before, you guys can fill this in line by line. You can copy and paste it from wherever you got this data. For this video, I'm going to just go back and to the listing and see all the information that is here. I'm just going to copy the actual URL link. Okay, and instead of I could copy all the stuff data and put it in, but just for this, I'm going to put it here. I'm going to enter it in here and push enter, and then it's going to kind of summarize and tell me what it sees on that link. Making sure that I understand, okay, it is picking up the information. Do you have a listing of the images? So great. So yeah, here, I'm gonna upload my images from my collage. So they're right here. Images are all numbered. Takes a couple of seconds. It's going to give you a kind of a breakdown on what it sees. Tells you how many titles they are. Next question, we're going to be selecting our genre and mood and tone. I'm going to select jazz, and obviously this is going to be, now how I would determine, I like to preface this, like on previous trainings or you've seen us when we're trying to, when you have a listing, is using ChatGPT to determine the top 3 most likely buyer profiles. When you've established who's most likely going to buy this property, you can also use that information to determine what type of genre of music that the most likely buyer would prefer, again with the mood and tone, and those are the ones you should select. Not what you like and what you think is the best. Try to use AI to do the research and determine the most likely buyer profile, what they would like. And so using that data, and then once you've got that information, you would just have that in here, select 2 minutes. Okay, turn your genre. Okay. That way you're creating something that's more desirable for your target audience. So I'm going to keep it story focused. Again, this is subjective to what you're looking for or what your audience would want. Song. So you can, again, it depends. The example that I'm going to produce was, it's a sung version with the end slide spoken narrative on at the end, at the last slide. Again, I'm creating this. So this is going to be, again, it's creating this. Now it's giving me the verse and sung of this. And you can select if you want female, male. Let's do, the example that I end up doing in the end was duet. And so it's slowly building up, and now it's here. We got all the information, all the genre, the mood, the style, chorus, everything. 2 minutes. Reply incoming. Now create the lyrics. And so here it is now creating the lyrics. Okay, so now what we want to be doing, now that this is creating all of the slides for us with the lyrics, we now want to go to ChatGPT, sorry, Suno. Again, I'm using the pro version on this, which is, I believe it's $10 a month. Um, you can, like I said, you see here it says some of the songs I created says V5. With the free version, I believe that's one of the main differences. You're going to have their older versions that are going to be um, available for you to download. Okay, so but we're going to do the same process, which we're just going to, I'm going to do a very basic part of Suno. We're not going to look into like anything too complex. We now just go here onto the slides, take the whole thing that ChatGPT created, and we then pray, do it here. And did I put property? Okay. So this part here should be in the styles. So the style should have the genre and the vocal and that information there. And then that, yeah. And then so once you got all that data properly in there, you just push create. And then within a minute or so, it'll come up with a whole bunch of different options. So it's created them here. Now, the one that I will go and use was here, because before when I was trying to test all this out, I was attempting trying to squeeze it down to a minute, and it was just it was very difficult to do. What was it, seven, like 8 slides, and to have them singing for like, for a song. So it just didn't work out. And I found the best was around the 2 minute mark, which I went with this song here.
Welcome to Vista Hill, where elegance meets serenity.
Again, for this video, it's not like important like of my song selection or anything like that. This is just an example, but that's going to be the example that we're going to be using. And so now that we have created the song, we now need to put everything basically together. And so that's where we move into CapCut. Okay. Again, CapCut, I am using the pro version. There's a couple items on here that I'll do that you would need the pro version. But for most of it, you probably don't have to have the pro version. Like putting everything together, definitely don't. Some of the options you might need, but I'm going to try to remember what might be required on the pro version versus the free version. Here, just want to show you again how I got back in. So here, this is the main page of CapCut. Create a project. It'll open up to here, and this is where we got to import our images. And so you would select all of the image that you uploaded or put on wherever you got your images. You want to select all of them. Okay. And I have to select this one here. So I've got all the images that, yeah. Have I got them all in here? Yeah, okay. All the images on here. And then from here, we're going to be able to drag them down. But what we're going to do, we're also going to now pull on the audio. So we got our media here, or most of our media. We'll pick some up in a minute. We go to audio. And here from the audio, they've got their music. We want to go to import on the left-hand side. Import, go to the right. And so now we see here, we got our lyrics. And so we want to find the one we want. That's that one there. Open it up. Tells you this one. I know it's a minute 54. So that's the one I want. And then you can double click or you can drag it down and it'll then just go into place at the bottom. Also, just so we know as well, okay, so we got this. So now we want to go back to the media. I'll show something in a second. So we know that our first image is the picture of the outside of the house. So we can double click or we can drag it down. Okay, so we got it dragged down. See how small it is? It's easier. So we have something a little bit larger so we can deal with this is that you go to the right-hand side here. See this little bar here? I slide it. It will increase the size of the scenes and the audio. So it's much easier to like follow and do the edits and things like that. Because one thing that we still have to do is we still have to match up the each image size to match with the actual the verse of the song that matches with that slide. Currently we don't have it. It's not perfect enough where you can just upload all of these 7 or 8 different images and just put them on here, and they're going to be perfect. So we have to like put them on one by one, and then we have to obviously look at like, okay, what was slide 1? We see that it's this is the lyrics. So beauty begins at the very first step home. And so this is where we're going to obviously run that scene. I think if we can, like, let's do this. So I want to play that in here, and that's where we're going to stop. So we're going to like play it.
Welcome to Vista Hill, where elegance meets serenity. A home designed for those who dream in luxury.
So is that the first? Was that? I think I got the wrong. Yeah, so here's a scene. Sorry, here where those dream in luxury. So that's why I was at the wrong lyrics for a different song. So this is where we would. This is where that first slide ends. So you see that we're here. We obviously now need to bring the this top image to here. So we just go over here, make sure that we left click on the scene. So you see it's kind of slightly highlighted. We get to the end, and then we're able to drag it all the way to here. Okay, so that's where we know that now that first part of the song matches the first part of that scene. And now we're going to bring the next image in, which we know like that here's this one. We drag it in, just drop it in there. It's going to put in place. And then we go back and we see what the scene 2. And the last thing phrase is every breeze whispers. This is where you belong. So where you belong, we just go listen to it.
Open the doors, let the sunlight pour. The rhythm of life dances across the floor. Every breeze whispers, this is where you belong.
So then we know that's that. We just go again, drag that, and we move it all to the end. Okay. And we do that for all of these scenes. I'm not going to like listen. And so I'm just going to put everything down as much as here as I can. And then I'm going to show you some things to do to add transitions, to put some text on, to bring some other images on. So just like, I'm just going to bring the relevant images in here. But what you would be doing, you'd be dragging the next image in, determining where in the lyrics the next image ends, and then you'd be picking up your next image and doing that until you've completed that. Hopefully that makes total sense. I'm just not going to do that because so we have enough time here and I get time to people to ask questions. So we just bring that, bring the bedroom. But again, if you can just see me how I'm doing it, very simple. And there is missing an image. And we're missing that image. And then we go there. And we're almost done. And we got the last image, which is the pool. And that would be dragged all the way, making sure you drag it so it finishes at the end. And so at the end. So now, obviously, if for transitions from slide to slide is important. So if you didn't, it's just going to like, if you looked at here, it's going to be like, here, if you go here, this is going to like go to full screen. So if you wanted to watch, and then you could just go.
Open the door.
So currently we have no transition, it just pops in. So what you need to do, you can either decide on how the last image ends or how the new image comes in. So you can select whatever you want. I'm just going to show you for the next image. So you select it, you see how you left click on your mouse and you see how it's highlighted. From there, we go up top here, we go to animation. And this is where we're going to have a whole different amount of different possible transitions. You can have a selection from in, out, or combo. So obviously you select combo, it's going to do the same it does for the entrance, for the outro for the transition of that slide. And then you have all these different ones that you can check out. And then when you like one, we're on the intro, so you just select it and go to the download thing, and then left click your mouse. It'll start playing, and then you'll see, I'll just move this. See on the bottom of the slide, it looks like there's another line. I don't know if you guys can see that with almost an arrow. That means that it's really small, but you see something there additional. That means that there is a transition added to that scene. And then obviously what we'll do is we would go and we would do the same for the following slides. We go here. You could have a outro and an intro. Sometimes that could be too much. That's something in play, but just go to the next slide, go an intro, and select a different, or the same if you like one or whatever, once you get used to it.
Evenings flowy.
But whatever you select, it goes there and you'll see that it's added there. And then you would do that for its entirety of the whole series of different slides here. Okay. So a couple other things here, just like in the beginning, we're also like, we probably want to showcase like the address of the property because it talks about it. So you're going to want to put text in there. So you would find where you have your image, what you want. Again, you could just go find where you want to have it, or you could hear what it's trying to say it.
Vista Hill.
So Vista Hill, it's talking about it there. So we go to text up top here. I probably you got text effects. I prefer just going to text templates. So we just get out of the effects, go to templates, and you can select a text template that's already created for you. Kind of gives you an idea of how, so if we're going to put an address on, I want something that's going to be a couple of lines. Maybe you'd even want that there because there's a new listing coming soon. Say if it was lit or just listed, you could have this, put coming soon. Once you see it added on the thing there in red, you got to take a look at that. You're looking at the screen here. You see how it's really large. You could drag it from here, or you can go to the right where it says scale here, and you could adjust it here. So get to the scale you want, move it around. You could change this. For this case, we could say coming soon. Okay, that looks great. We also want to add we have coming soon, and then we have Vista Hill. So we can select this other one. We can add that. 1 second, it's going to pop up here. It's taking its time. There we
Where
go.
elegance meets
Okay, so we got that one. And now we want to put the address. It's going to move people out of the way. We're going to go and look at the address. And so we go and for some reason we're frozen here. Try that again. There it is. That's better. So we have here 2 lines. Thank you for watching. So we're going to put part of the address in the bottom line. and the upper part, paste here, do the scale. And then we can go back here and we can kind of watch to see what it looks like.
Just a hill where elegance meets serenity.
Okay, so there we have coming soon, and we got the address. So we're gonna now see. We got okay. We're gonna go to the end, obviously, to the scene because if I take you there, let's go to the. Let's move you guys out of the way. We're going to show a few things at the end because there's a point on the audio here, and I'll show you this, is that where I've got it as soft spoken, and it's going to have our call to action to call us for more information.
Please contact Chad Ratcliffe at 78846.
So I also want to have that text with the number on that. So also I thought, when it says my name, maybe having a picture of yourself. So like we can see where we've got the.
Please contact Chad Ratcliffe.
So please contact. And so here we could say, okay, hey, I want an image of yourself. So you could say, let's go and put an image. We go back to top left media. We would have to import a picture of you. You can, let's see, we got a picture. Yeah. So bring in a picture of me in a suit. Drag it in to where I want it here. Also remember, everything that you add on top of an image is how it's going to be layered. So if I put this on the bottom, you wouldn't see anything. The fact that you see it, I put it on the top means it's going to be layered, but you see it has, obviously, it's got a background, and I don't want the background. So since the image is highlighted, I just go to over here, and I'll go to remove background. Remove background is a paid feature, okay? And so it's removing the background, and then I can just, again, I can use scale, or I can pick the image from the left here and mouse and click it and try to kind of get it the right size of what the furniture looks like. So it's kind of like, it's rightly scaled. And so you could have myself there. I could decide that, okay, hey, I want myself as animation. I want myself to fade in. And then we could just go up here and look for fade in. There's a retro fade in. Anyways, I'm just showing you here. So
and rare. And rare.
Make sure the image is selected that you want, and then the fade in.
Chad Ratcliffe at 78.
And so that's done. And then we quickly can put in text. Just select where you want it in the image. Go to the top left, go to text. And then we could just select something that we think that is going to have, I think it's on 2 lines because I have my name and the phone number. So we just look for something. Again, it doesn't really matter here. I'm just going to select. Yeah, so let's select this. I download it. It should go there, go to plus. I want to scale it a little bit differently, about that size, move it over, say put it here. And then, so I see summer as the top, so I'm going to put Chad Ratcliffe, and then 778-846-3791. And here we go, and we watch it.
Please contact Chad Ratcliffe at 78846.
So right away, we see there's a problem. First of all, I would not have selected that retro fade in. Looks terrible. But I want to fix the, see how this is. So we want to obviously make it smaller. And so that way I either change the scale or just selected this and move it here. And you can move it all in different places, wherever you want to. There looks better. And then we'd have that. And that would give your entire video. And you could add things like, again, if you were things that you could add, like if you were in, I'm not going to go too much, but say in the scene of like you're in one of these scenes, and the song's talking about something that's in the scene, you could look at um, doing effects such as arrows, oops, stickers, and you could be pointing to something. So say if you had something that in the song that you wanted to have highlighted that sang about, you could have that and it could be pointing to it. Those are things. There's also ratios. So here is selecting the correct ratio for whatever you're creating the video for. 16 by 9 for like YouTube. You've also got 9/16 for like Reels. You can select all different things there. And yeah, and you could add different like more scenes as well. Different images, zooming in and zooming out. I won't go into that right today. And then once you're all completed and you have it all done and you like it, you watch it through, you go top right, export. And then you could just select the video, make sure the video is selected. You have all the different resolutions, bit rates, things like that, and you just go export. And then when it's done, you would see that, oops, let's go here. It would be your end project would look like this. Again, I'm not really going to highlight the actual song or stuff like that, but this is giving you an example. 1 second when it loads.
Welcome to Vista Hill, where elegance meets serenity. A home designed for those who dream in luxury. Open the doors, let the sunlight pour. The rhythm of life dances across the floor. Every breeze whispers, this is where you belong.
Evenings flow easy, laughter by the firelight, stories shared at the River Rock Bar, where time slows down and life feels just right.
The kitchen glows, marble dreams unfold, candlelight dinners, memories in gold. Every moment here feels like home.
Retreat upstairs where the stars softly gleam, balcony views like living in a dream, luxury whispers in every scene.
Step outside, your private escape. Pergola glow, warm nights by the fire, evenings here feel like your own resort. From sunrise laughter to starlit calm, this is life elevated, timeless and rare. If you're interested in this home, please contact Chad Ratcliffe at 78846 through 7981.
So that just, you can put it together. Another great thing about creating your own music, you don't have any copyright issues. You see that now with AI, when posting things like, especially to YouTube, you'll get a lot more, not copyright strikes, but copyright infringement warnings that you'll have to like change them, because the AI is always constantly like scrubbing what's going on and online and making sure that if you have any, even if you're buying things from like sites that say that you have the copyright, it's still a lot of issues. So this is a quick way to be able to create that stuff. Once you've done it a couple times, you should be able to do it quite quickly.
If you're a real estate agent and don't want to get left behind with all of these AI updates, guys, you're in the right place, because we created the world's very first AI certified agent. We have an entire AI institute dedicated to the real estate industry. We have a top custom GPT in the ChatGPT store just for the real estate industry. All you got to do is check out some of the links in the description below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And if you're still here, go ahead and check out one of the other videos that we just shot.